Video on the Spyderco Native Chief and the rest of the Native family. The Native 5, and this is the fluted carbon fiber S90V linerless variant. The Native 5 lightweight with LC200N. The Shaman S90V Sprint with contoured carbon fiber. And the DLC compression lock Lil Native. So this was a natural progression for me to want this knife. I like larger knives. I started off with larger knives. And the ergonomics of the Lil Native and the Native 5 have been basically what I've been gravitating to, using for everyday carry, especially the Lil Native. For this is just a monster. I've talked about it before. It's basically a Spyderco box cutter. You know how stout the blade is. I mean, it just mows through double walled cardboard like nobody's business. So I saw how long the blade was, and I was watching the forums, watching the history of the Native Chief, and this was just a no-brainer. So it's S30V. It is linerless. A lot of people are complaining about that, but I've talked about it before. Cold steel has shown for years now how strong linerless, G10 with a lockback can be. The specs, it's a 9-inch blade. The cutting edge is 3.58. The weight is 3.9 ounces, which is awesome. It's $156 MAP. The Shaman is 8 inches overall. The Native 5 G10 is 6.87. And the Lil Native is not 5.94. The regular Shaman with the satin blade is $187.85. The Native 5 G10 is $149.50. And the Lil Native, the comp block's $117 and $126 for the lockback. Those are both with a satin blade. So the reason why I've liked the Native and the Native 5, the Lil Native and the Native 5, is the way you use the knife. Especially this one here, you're not going to use it like this. You automatically go up towards the choil. And there's pretty much two, trains of thought. People either love choils or they hate them. I love them. I like being right up on the blade and cutting the media that I'm using. I have no issues at all with it. It just feels natural. Even if I'm cutting down on something, my hand's a little sideways like this. So the Native 5 is the same ergonomics, but I don't use the Native 5, even though it's close. It's a 3-finger knife for me, so I naturally use it in that same choil position, which is plenty large. The Shaman's new. I talked about it when I made the video for this knife. I have not owned one. I was waiting for a Sprint or some kind of an exclusive. I haven't used this yet. I had my cervical fusion, so I haven't had a chance to use it. But this one's big enough, obviously, where you can use the handle and the choil. And this is more of a heavy-duty work knife, with the compression lock. This is like a stout blade. I'm looking forward to using that. And just the whole lines, not having the spider hump that comes up, the way the lines taper all the way, the nice curve all the way to the tip. The distal taper. So I have been using this one, even though I haven't been able to go outside and do much. I've been using it for mostly food prep, a ton of food prep. And the ergos are stellar. So I have a big hand, but look how much I have left over in the standard grip. And then obviously you have the choil. So this one I have been using like this for the food prep. I've been, slicing and dicing and it's just been awesome so far. The action is, it's stiff, you know, out of the box. You know, it's going to wear in just like the other ones, because the way the other ones work, you hit and it just drops to the point where it's designed, and then you close it. The nice part about having these choil knives is when they drop, your finger's in the choil area where the knife can't bite you. So they're very easy to close with one hand. Obviously the Lil Native, the compression lock, which is very easy. And this one too. So I haven't carried it much in my pocket, once again, because I haven't been able to do, you know, I've been doing physical therapy and walking, but I've been mostly in gym clothes. I don't see an issue with it because my military's, it's similar to the military. I'll have to do a video against this and the military, but it's a similar, it's skinny, you know, this way. And I don't see it being an issue because most of the knife is going to be down inside the pocket. There's nothing here, you know, to jut out into, even though that doesn't bother me anyways. It's just a fluid design, and I just don't see this being an issue carrying in my right front pocket. You know, even though I haven't carried it yet. So action is stellar. No blade play either way. You can see fit and finish is perfect. Very smooth. There's no burrs. There's no, you can't feel the liner or the back, you know, the lock back, the back spacer. You know, with this skinny tip, it's not going to be, you know, for heavy duty. I can't be stabbing and prying like you could with the Shaman. But for what I've been using it, just for food prep, this thing is, it's almost worth it just to buy. And, you know, when you start cutting up cardboard boxes and, you know, opening packages, and I'm sure it's going to be good for woodworking, that extra blade length really comes in handy. You know, Spyderco's just got another winner on their hands. Obviously, you know, this design's been around a long time, and they just kind of stretched it out. You could see the influence on all of them. So the Spyderco Native Chief, Linerless G10, and S30V blade.